Okay. Ooh, my hair feels crazy. Boo. I know that I've been a ghost for the last 2 weeks, and I'm so sorry, Cravers. Life has just been so busy. Okay, so 2 weeks ago, my daughter was turning 13. I officially have a teenager now, which is just insane to say. She's also playing volleyball. I'm a first-time sports mom, and it's a lot, practices and going to every game, and I'm a driver, so I'm like picking girls up and then running through the drive-through line at McDonald's for fries and then hauling ass to the game, and it's just been a lot. And then the Redskins games, going to every game and tailgating and meeting with friends and having fun. I know this sounds like, oh, such a tough life. Poor Adrian. But it's a lot, right? And then I still have this eye infection thing going on. So I have appointments and medications. No one can figure it out. Then it's things like life and work and laundry and dinner and then family time. And sometimes I just want to come home from the gym, make myself a nice dinner and relax and watch TV with my daughter or with Mr. Wright. And so next thing I know, it's oh, I'll record tomorrow. Oh, I'll record the next day. And I know I've talked about locking in. And I am there. I have been trying really hard with, leveling up at work and crushing it in the gym and really focusing on my physical health, which by the way is so hard to fit that time in. Being a good mom, being a good sports mom, being a good girlfriend, having a life, and it's a lot. When I first started the show, almost 5 years ago, I was a single gal and I had a lot more time on my hands. It's all of a sudden, I don't know why this keeps going to the back burner. I really had a goal of making a show every week for the rest of the year, and I want to stick to that. I had all these intentions to come in here and tell you guys hey, I'm back. Sorry, I've been a ghost. Funny, haha. And really, I've just been going through a lot of stuff, and I thought, okay, I can just pretend and gloss over I missed a couple episodes, no big deal. Or I could be really brutally honest with you. It's hard to share and be so vulnerable on here, but that's something I've always done. So why would I stop now? The truth is, too, in addition to everything going on in my life, is I've been struggling a little bit. Just struggling with doing it all. And I feel like I've been going through these vicious cycles lately. And it's impacted pretty much every relationship in my life. And I'll explain in a minute. So I find myself trying to do it all at work, at home, in school, just maxing myself out. Every minute is planned of every day. I got to see this friend. I got to see that friend. I got to make time for that and then schedule this. And I notice that when I overachieve and I overexert myself, I've reached these points where it's the point of no return and I just lose my shit. And I take it out on the ones that are closest to me. So I'll shoot Katina a message and I'm like, I'm so tired of being a fucking mom right now and blah, 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 blah. Or, I have had zero time with Mr. Wright this week and it really fucking sucks because I don't feel connected with him. And then I punish him and yell at him about that too. And then I will, complain about how I just want to be alone. I just want to have time out. And I keep forgetting to change and to really make the effort to not reach that level of blow up. It's happened twice in the last 3 weeks where I've maxed myself out. I've been pissed off. I've pushed Mr. Right away. I've pushed my daughter away. I pushed everybody away. I just want to be left alone. When in reality, all I really want is to have that connection, especially with Mr. Right. I feel like our relationship sometimes takes the back burner to all the things in life. And I've talked about this on the show before. It's really hard to make time for each other, especially sexy time for each other, when we always have a kid in the house and schedules and it's busy and we have, mismatched schedules, whatever. And I wasn't talking about it. I was letting it just build up, fester, and explode. And that's not working for me. Another thing I want to talk about and share, which, God, I'm so nervous in sharing this, but it's true. This is my truth. I feel like being a unicorn in the lifestyle and having the life that I used to have as a single woman kind of ruined me. I'll just be honest with you. It also kind of skewed my view on intimacy and relationships and sex. So let's be real. I was living the dream. You guys have heard it here on the show. I had fantastic sex with different and multiple partners. I had everything I wanted covered by each different person to create this perfect sexual situation for me. And I had men and women who were just like hungry and so thirsty to see me and want me and need me at all times. And that gave me a false sense of reality when it comes to sex and relationships and also intimacy. And what I'm realizing now is that none of that really was intimacy, but I thought it was. And I had programmed myself that, going to Pound Town, getting choked out and fucking each other senselessly, like that was my intimacy, my only intimacy. And it kind of retrained my brain in a bad way. So I'm trying to retrain it back to a normal way, where I'm not equating sex with love and everything after, and happiness and everything ever after. Although sex is so vital, and Mr. Right and I have a great sex life, but my expectations are unreasonable since I was in the lifestyle as a unicorn. And it's been something difficult for me to navigate. And I don't even really know how to share it with you in the right way because I don't know myself. I just find myself struggling with, and it's not fair to my partner who gives me so much love and so much attention and everything I want and need and deserve. Yet I'm like, I want you to, choke me out the way that my dom did. And that's in the back of my head where I think, well, I had that all the time. And I want you to go down on me the way that this happened. And I want you to, have mutual masturbation with me the way I did with Mia. And like, it's weird how I had this like consistent cycle for years of like all of this different types of sex. And again, this is not, it's not that like I have normal sex now. We have phenomenal, incredible sex. But I spoiled myself a little bit too much, and it's not reasonable. It's not realistic. And I'm trying to get myself back to that, especially as Mr. Right and I are settling in, the honeymoon phase that lasts a really long time and it's amazing. But then you kind of settle into like this like love phase, which is a beautiful thing and something I really want. And we have together. But I find myself, it's been tough. I really can't even explain it to you other than I'm trying to navigate a new levels of intimacy and I don't even need to work on it with my partner. I need to work on it with myself. I actually had like a little blow up 2 weeks ago, I can't remember. And I was so frustrated. I was like, we never have time. I want to have time. Like, I just want to have sex. And he's like, we do have sex. We did have sex. Like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, is it me? Like, am I not? Yeah. And I like totally like lost my shit. And I went and looked at myself in the mirror and I told him, and Mr. Right and I have incredible communication. We talk about everything. But it's me and I need to work on myself and a healthy way to move forward. If I'm being really honest here, I've never been in a healthy relationship before, whether it comes to, the dynamics of a relationship or, the trust, the love that's shared with one another. I've never experienced this before and it's weird. Like, I hate to say it, but I'm used to toxic, like I'm like, cool, like I'm used to this behavior, and that's really fucked up. I'm used to that vicious abuse cycle where it's like, I'm in any given time, I'm in like the explosion phase or the get settled phase or the fake happiness stage or whatever. And I'm just trying to navigate this. I feel like I sound crazy right now, but I'm pretty sure somebody can relate to this. Just navigating a new relationship. And one of the things that I really need to work on is not equating sex with love. Sex with, like, that's not the only type of intimacy that there is. So what I did is a little bit of studying and I looked up the different types of intimacy. And when I was going through it and I was looking at it, and I'm going to share them with you today, I really realized, I was like, wow, like Mr. Right and I have everything. What is wrong with me? Why do I feel like I need to have sex 3 to 4 times a day, day in, day out, and that's the only way that I feel loved? It's unreasonable and ridiculous. And I'm trying to work on that myself. I know it's not healthy. And again, like, we have a great sex life. It's not like anything's missing. I don't know. I'm used to having these like sex sessions where I just equated, that was like the only intimacy I had in my life for so long. And so that's all I equated to. Okay, so I learned about different types of intimacy and I want to share them with you today because I feel like we can hone in on something that we're missing so much or we think that we are or that the only thing that we know. And I want to open you up to different types of intimacy that you might have in your relationship that you haven't thought about in a long time as well. So I first want to say this too. intimacy, I think, should be defined as like communication with your partner too. So that's huge. I was afraid to talk to Mr. Right about it because I didn't want to get on his nerves. I don't like nagging him. I don't like coming to him with stuff because I don't know. I just am not that kind of gal. I'm like, nope, I'm not bothering him. And that's not healthy either. So I'm working on that. But finally using my words and communicating and not letting myself get bottled up is something that I'm achieving and working on. And that's a me thing, right? Like Mr. Right's not a mind reader. He's not going to know when I'm feeling overwhelmed or when I'm racing all these thoughts in my head, like I need this and I need that. And you know what I mean? He doesn't have a clue. So this poor guy is clueless when I'm like, well, we haven't fucked in 24 hours. And is there a fucking problem? Like, it's crazy, right? But that's like where my head's been at. And I'm trying to figure that out. And I think one of the ways was learning these different types of intimacy and really learning what we have. And when I sat down and like looked through it, I was like, wow, like I do have a ton of intimacy in my life, more so that, and things that really matter more so than physical touch, right? So, all right, let's talk about the different types of intimacy because I think it's vital. And if you're in a relationship where sometimes you might feel like things are lacking or you need to talk to your partner more about a certain topic or whatever, like let's talk about these things together and then see where we can, you know, make a difference because again, it's me. And I'm sure he has things that he needs to work on too, but you know, it's been me lately. And so I'm here just facing the truth. Okay. So communication, it's just so key with your partner. If you are not having honest discussions with your partner, you're just going to get further and further away from what's really going on, and that's never a good thing. So as tough as the conversation is, and how I feel like so vulnerable and needy, and I hate that feeling. It makes me like want to throw up even thinking about it right now. And I told him that. I said, you know, I'm uncomfortable. Like I don't want to share how I feel because it makes me feel vulnerable, and I don't like doing that. I don't like feelings and whatever, but sharing that with him is what brings us closer together and makes everything happier and healthier down the line. So I know it's uncomfortable, but we got to do it. All right. So different types of intimacy. So the first one is intellectual. Let me name the types: intellectual, emotional, spiritual, physical, and social. Okay. So the first one, intellectual, is like when you can express your thoughts with your partner and share ideas together and go back and forth with one another. And you're just building that like foundation with each other too, like getting to know each other, learning each other, having this like intellectual conversations, discussions and topics, and just talking about things and feeling close with your partner. And it's funny because Mr. Right and I have that so much. Like we share so many ideas. We make $1 million schemes about things. And he's like, yes, you could do this. And I'm like, yes, you could reach that goal. And I have so much in that, you know, type of intimacy with him. So I'm very thankful and happy that that's never been an issue. Okay. Emotional intimacy. This is where I feel like I have lacked. I have not been good at being vulnerable. I have not been good at sharing my needs sometimes. Not when it comes to the bedroom, but like, you know, hey, I'm feeling like I need a little bit more love right now, or I'm not feeling really close to you because we've had opposite schedules the last 3 days and I miss you. I have a hard time sharing that and being vulnerable. So that's something that I'm working on. One way, with intimacy that Mr. Right and I are really good about is that we feel safe with one another. And that's amazing. So like I have the safety, I feel comfortable, I have let my walls down. Like I let this man in, okay? Like there's no doubt about it. He's the first and only one I have in a really long time. And it feels good to not have walls with him. I feel so accepted and understood. Even the tough conversations we've had lately, I'm like, ugh, and he just makes me feel so much better because I know that he hears me, he listens, he understands, and you know, we change things moving forward, and that's huge. But I need to work on being more vulnerable and sharing like really how I feel sometimes, because my old ways of bottle everything up, explode, or never share anything and we just drift apart, like that hasn't worked for me in the past, and I want this relationship to be forever. And so that's something that I'm working on. I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that, by the way. Like it sucks talking about my feelings. I don't really like talking about my flair. Okay, so the next one's a spiritual type of intimacy. And this is where you feel connected, where you understand each other's beliefs. And this feels like a spiritual bond. I don't talk a lot about it on this show, but I am a spiritual person. And Mr. Wright and I share the same type of religion and beliefs. And it was funny. I actually told Katina. So a couple of weeks ago, Mr. Wright and I were laying in bed, and I have like the study Bible that I read with my daughter. And he was like, get that Bible. He's like, let's open it up. He's like, wherever we open it up to, it's going to be like what we need to hear right now. And I was like, okay. He's like, hold my hand while we do this. So we're laying in bed. It's really quiet. And he opens the book, and then he reads like this paragraph. And it was just like, I remember I actually told Katina, I told her what we did. And I said, I felt closer to him than I did like when we had sex in the morning. I was like, I know that sounds weird. And she was like, no. She was like, Adrienne, like that's a very like intimate thing. And I was like, yeah. So it could be like a spiritual intimacy that you and your partner are having, or you can encourage with your partner to feel closer. Goes without saying, physical intimacy, right? The hugging, the kissing, the hand holding, the cuddling, the sex. Let me tell you something. I have never held hands with a man the way I hold hands with Mr. Wright. I have never had so many kisses, hugs, cuddles. I am not a cuddler. I never have been. And with him, that's all I want to do. Like, he always has to be touching me. Like, the physical touch is through the roof with him. There's so much physical intimacy. Yet, if I'm not getting my brains knocked out every day by him, I feel like something's wrong. Like, what's going on with that? Like, why do I equate that? When we do have so much physical connection, intellectual connection, emotional intimacy, we have all of that. And yet, it's so weird to me. Like, I'm really trying to work through that. And even doing this little exercise where I'm thinking of the other ways that we are connected makes me feel really good. I'll tell you, we haven't had sex in like 2 days, I think, 3 days. And he's upstairs right now and we're alone. And it was funny, as soon as he came home, I was thinking, God, I just want to like, fuck him. I want him to bend me over this bed and just fuck me. And like, he just got off of work and he needs to have his downtime. And I need to get here down in the studio and connect with you guys. And it's just, my brain immediately goes there. And even just doing this exercise, I'm like, you know what? Even if we don't have sex tonight, it's okay. Like, it's okay. We are so close. We are connected. It doesn't mean that something's wrong because we don't have sex for 24 hours. Help me. I'm poor. Okay, the last type of intimacy that I was doing some research about is social intimacy. So shared interests, quality time, fun together, traveling, and even your individual time. And I feel like Mr. Wright and I thrive here. We are so much alike. Like, he is the male version of me. And we have amazing friends. We have so much fun together. We travel really well together. We do so much together. A couple of fun things coming up. We're going to Pinehurst next month, and then we're going to Times Square for New Year's Eve. I'll be sharing some more details about that. We have a vacation booked next summer. We have all of that stuff is there. And then we also do a really good job of having individual time, right? Like, he can go hang out with his friends. I can go hang out with mine. We trust and love and support each other so much and encourage that individual behavior, which that is really vital as well. We are thriving there. We're thriving everywhere. And yet sometimes I find myself being like, why aren't we having sex today? We've only had sex once. Like, why didn't we have sex twice? We could have had sex twice. Like, what's wrong with us? And that's something that I need to work on. So just something by doing this simple exercise about different types of intimacy. And look, you and your partner might be lacking in some other areas, and you might have sex 1,500 times a day. Like, I'm jealous. No, just kidding. But, whatever, I don't know. I just thought this was a very unique way of looking into a relationship and also appreciating what we have. Not focusing on, how come we're not like rabbits every time we have alone time together, which, by the way, that is so not fucking realistic. But remember, when I was single, when I was a unicorn, I had that because that was my only time alone. All my time that I was alone, I was planning dates and scheduling things and, sessions and play dates and all that stuff, or events or parties, whatever. So it kind of skewed me a little bit. So I'm just really trying to get back and just thrive with myself, right? And not let it impact my relationship, because it's not worth it. Like, this is new Adrienne. I'm not going back to any type of negative shit or toxic Like, I love Mr. Wright with all of my heart. I want to spend the rest of my life with him. And so I am working on me. I think that some of you are going to relate to this. So that's why I'm sharing about it today. Okay. I need to have Zach come back. I know that. We tried to get the schedules together. It's just life. And this is like the busiest time of year. Also, we got news that Mr. Wright has to go support another location. So he's going to be gone for a month, which is going to be tough, but we're working it out. I'm going to see him 3 out of the 4 weekends, so it'll be fine. But just all these things are happening and changing, and life is just so busy. But I'm hoping to reconnect with Zach. And then up next, I think I want to talk about, when I was doing my research, I read about like secret behaviors of men and women, like in relationships, like in marriages, people that live together. And I want to hear, and I need to hear from you guys. Like, what are your secret behaviors that you do that your partner doesn't know about, right? It was funny. I saw like this one thing where it was like, ladies, I hate to tell you, but we have jerked off in every crevice of our home. Like, it was like, if you think that like there's a spot where we haven't, jerked off, you're wrong. And then it was like, and yes, we're going to sit on your favorite couch naked one day because we can. And I was thinking of myself, like secret behaviors. I don't really have a lot. Like Mr. Wright knows, like I have a lot of toys and I jerk off, and like there's really, the only thing I do have is I like to study my face. Like I like to look at a magnifying mirror and spend time, like I'm obsessed with it. I always have been. It's kind of like my secret single behavior where I'm, checking my pores and taking care of my skin. That's been something that, like, it's funny because Mr. Wright will be like, hey, babe, where are you? And I'm like, I'm upstairs in the office looking at my face. I'm like, I'm just looking at my face. And he's like, oh, okay. But what are yours? I want to hear. So I'm going to be talking about men and women. Like, what are our secret behaviors? And I'm going to put a post over on Instagram at Midlife Craving. And you can email me always, midlifecraving@gmail.com, or hit me up any way that, you can always reach me on my website as well, midlifecraving.com. And so, yeah, so I think it'll be a lot of fun to talk about. It's funny. I'm sitting here and I'm like, I think a lot of people are going to be like, my husband doesn't know that I masturbate as much as I do. Or my husband doesn't know about like my favorite toy. And I'm like looking around, even in the studio, there's just toys everywhere. Which, by the way, I am loving my Coco. Do you have Coco yet? On tracysdog.com. The holidays are coming up. Like, treat yourself to something and talk about stress relief. Use code CRAVERS20. That's CRAVERS 20 to get 20% off your entire order. And Coco, she is like my favorite girl. Talk about being secret too. She's so silent, your partner will never know. All right, so I'll see you guys next week for secret behaviors of men and women. Don't forget to, send me a comment, send me a DM. I want to hear from you, and I'll share them on the show. Okay.